Hey, amazing fans! Welcome to another relaxing moment with VIVA'S stories. Before we dive into the drama, don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support means the world to us. Now, grab a seat, sit back, relax, and let's journey into the story together. The house on Oak Ridge Lane looked like every other in its cul-de-sac, 2 stories of pristine suburban comfort, windows gleaming in the morning light, the scent of fresh grass wafting through neatly trimmed hedges. Neighbors often whispered, "They have it all." Mark Turner stood in the doorway, adjusting his tie, his phone already buzzing with emails and Slack notifications. He wasn't just a senior project manager, he was the Mark Turner, quarterback-turned-tech exec, the suburban dad everyone quietly envied. Inside, the kettle screeched, ignored. "Mark, your tea's burning," Elise called from the kitchen, barely glancing up from her tablet as she reviewed the marketing plan for her startup's latest campaign. Blonde hair tied in a loose bun, yoga pants, expensive manicure chipped from yesterday's failed attempt at family gardening. Perfect family on paper, but this morning? Silence. Except for one sound, the gentle scratching of pencil on paper. Sitting at the far edge of the breakfast table was Sophie Turner, their 11-year-old daughter, sketching. She barely touched her toast, her long sleeves pushed up over thin wrists, graphite smudges decorating her knuckles like bruises. Mark barely noticed. "Big meeting today, gotta go," he muttered, giving Elise an obligatory peck on the cheek. He spared Sophie a smile. "Whatcha drawing today, squirt?" Sophie lifted the notebook slightly, enough to flash an indistinct swirl of shadow, something between clouds and twisted branches. No smile. No answer. "Still into that weird art stuff, huh?" Mark joked, but it didn't land. Elise broke the tension. "Mark, I'm late," he cut her off, already halfway out the door. The perfect lie begins. Elise stared at the door for a moment longer, annoyance flaring before settling into a practiced numbness. She took another sip of coffee. "I like your sketch," she offered gently, moving toward Sophie. But Sophie had already slipped her headphones on. Not defiant, just absent. Somewhere else. Somewhere Elise couldn't reach. This wasn't new. 2 years ago, Sophie was bright, chatty, obsessed with glitter pens and unicorns. Something had shifted. Elise told herself it was just puberty. Kids get weird, Mark had shrugged last month. She's creative. Let her be. Outside looking in. To their friends on Facebook, they were #family goals. Elise's carefully filtered photos captured Sunday brunches, Christmas mornings with matching pajamas, even Sophie's reluctant participation at a local art fair. Likes rolled in. Heart emojis. "You're such a beautiful family." Nobody saw that Sophie spoke fewer than a dozen words a day to her parents. Nobody noticed that she didn't have sleepovers anymore. Or playdates. Or laughter. Nobody saw the bruised erasers, the midnight drawings she hid under her mattress. Mrs. Patel notices. At Meadowview Middle School, Mrs. Patel, the art teacher, stood at the back of the classroom, arms crossed. She wasn't nosy by nature, but when Sophie handed in her project, something in her stomach twisted uncomfortably. The assignment had been simple: draw what makes you happy. Most kids submitted ice cream cones, pets, or their favorite superheroes. Sophie? Shadows. Twisted figures. A crooked staircase leading into blackness, one small figure standing at the edge, featureless except for wide, empty eyes. Mrs. Patel bent low to speak softly. "Sophie, what is this?" Sophie shrugged. "It's just a drawing." Something inside Mrs. Patel said otherwise. The phone call that goes ignored. That evening, as Sophie retreated into her room, sketchpad clutched to her chest, Mrs. Patel dialed the number on Sophie's emergency contact form. Voicemail. "Elise Turner here. Can't talk. Leave a message." Beep. "Mrs. Turner, it's Mrs. Patel from Meadowview. I'd like to speak with you about Sophie's recent work. Nothing urgent, but please call me back." No reply ever came. Behind the closed door. Behind her closed bedroom door, Sophie plugged in her cheap laptop, battered stickers peeling from its surface. Notifications lit up in the corner of the screen. One new message, Grace. Another beautiful drawing, Sophie. You're special. Your parents don't see that. But I do. Her fingers hovered above the keyboard before typing. Thanks. They don't really get it. Parents don't. They want you to be ordinary. But you're meant for more. Another smiley emoji. Another coil of comfort. Sophie smiled, faint but real, for the first time that day. Foreshadowing the storm. Downstairs, Elise finally saw the missed call notification. Glanced at it. Dismissed it. Probably something minor. She was already late for her next Zoom call. Somewhere upstairs, Sophie opened a new private drawing session with Mr. Gray. Outside, thunder gathered, unnoticed by everyone inside the perfect house on Oak Ridge Lane. Dialogue to hold attention, breakfast scene. Mark, whatcha drawing today, squirt? Sophie, lifts sketchbook slightly, only shadows visible. Mark, laughs, still into that weird art stuff, huh? Sophie, pencil scratching continues, no reply. Elise, half-focused, Mark. Mark, already leaving late. Big meeting. Hook ending for chapter 1. Sophie's pencil moved faster now, sketching shapes Elise wouldn't recognize even if she cared to look. And far away in a cozy studio filled with canvases, Mr. Gray smiled at his glowing laptop screen. You're ready, he typed. For what? Sophie finally dared to ask. His reply blinked in. For everything they don't want you to be. It started with an ad. Scrolling YouTube alone in her room, Sophie clicked on a thumbnail, Learn to Draw Like a Pro, free online classes. The smiling face of Mr. Gray welcomed her like an old friend. His videos were different, not childish cartoons, but abstract, moody, mature. And then came the Discord invite. Mr. Gray, dim. You've got real talent, Sophie. Don't waste it on school projects. It was the first time anyone used the word talent about her. It felt like rescue. Meanwhile, Elise scrolled Instagram downstairs, liking photos of other parents' artistic kids, and wondering why Sophie didn't try harder in school. Elise, half aloud. I wish she was more normal. If only she knew. At school, Mrs. Patel grew more uneasy with each new piece Sophie submitted. The drawings were intricate now, disturbingly so, dark forests with barely hidden eyes in the branches, smiling masks with cracks along their edges. Finally, Mrs. Patel called again. This time, Elise answered, distracted as usual. Mrs. Patel. Mrs. Turner, I'm not trying to alarm you, but there's something in her work that concerns me. These aren't just doodles. Elise, half listening. It's just creative expression. She's a quiet kid. That's all. Mrs. Patel. Art can be expression, or a cry for help. But by the time Elise hung up, she had already filed it under other people overreacting. She's fine. It's just art. Kids are weird. The online mentorship deepened quickly. Mr. Gray spoke in riddles, building mystery around hidden meanings, in artwork, feeding Sophie's sense that the adult world was stupid and shallow. Mr. Gray, dim. Your parents don't see it. They want you small. But I see who you really are. By now, Sophie's browser history was wiped after every session. She wasn't stupid, Mr. Gray taught her to cover her tracks. Nights blurred into early mornings. Sleep slipped. Homework forgotten. Even Mrs. Patel's classes felt like interruptions now. And for the first time ever, Sophie thought about running away, not far, just away. During family night, Elise's attempt at connection, they all sat awkwardly on the living room couch with popcorn. Movie night. Elise announced, but Mark was on work emails, and Sophie's mind was elsewhere, already wondering what Mr. Gray would say about this plastic display of togetherness. When Sophie excused herself to the bathroom, Elise idly flipped through Sophie's sketchpad left on the armrest. It fell open to a page of warped staircases descending into black water, a small figure drowning beneath stylized waves. Above, in beautiful cursive, smile for them, scream for you. Elise shivered. But then the movie started, and she closed the book. Things escalated. Another parent at school mentioned their child had also been contacted by someone calling himself Mr. Gray, urging them to create better art through secret online groups. An emergency meeting was held at Meadowview. Elise reluctantly attended. Mark didn't even come. Mrs. Patel laid it bare. Multiple students were involved. Private online communities. Dark art forums. Grooming potential. Mrs. Patel. They're targeting lonely, creative kids who aren't being seen at home. Elise's stomach dropped, but she still wasn't ready to fully believe it. Not my daughter. Except Sophie had been growing quieter and paler. Mr. Gray, Tim. I'm hosting an exclusive show. Just for my best students. Special invite. No parents. It was in an abandoned community center across town. Sophie wanted to go. Needed to go. Mr. Gray, Tim. This is where the real artists break free. She hesitated, typing. What if they won't let me? Mr. Gray. They don't control you anymore. For the first time, Sophie felt like she had a choice. Their world, or his. Chapter 8. The Wake-Up Call. One mistake saved her life. Elise borrowed Sophie's laptop to print school forms, and the chat window blinked open. See you at 7. Don't tell anyone. It felt like ice water poured into her chest. Within an hour, Elise was on the phone with the police, with Mrs. Patel, with Mark. Panic broke the facade of the perfect family, at last. Mark yelled, Elise cried, both wondering how they missed it. They almost lost her. Mrs. Patel guided the family through the process of involving law enforcement, child psychologists, and eventually, thankfully, tracking down Mr. Gray. Police raided the abandoned center before any kids arrived. Turns out Mr. Gray wasn't just grooming for attention. He had worse plans, darker ones that made Elise throw up in her kitchen when she heard the details. Sophie was pulled back, but not unscarred. Elise and Mark finally saw her. Not the version of her they posted on Instagram, but the broken, searching real child. It wasn't neat, but it was true. Months later, Elise took the podium at a local parent event. Not to scold. Not to virtue signal. Just to tell the truth. Elise, public speech. We thought love was enough. But love without attention is neglect. Don't just be there for birthdays. Be there when it's quiet. Be there for the weirdness, the moods, the silences. The predators are always paying attention to what you ignore. And behind her, in the crowd, Sophie stood. This time, holding a sketchbook, not hidden, but open. The drawing was still dark. But this time, there was a sunrise in the corner. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell for newly created content.